What's up, my friend? Welcome to Mixing with Macro. Today I'm gonna show you how to handle harsh sounding drill rap vocals. This can also be applied to regular rap vocals. If it's a more aggressive rapper, I'm gonna show you all the tips and secrets. Stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, I'm Macro from Mixing with Macro. I'm a professional recording and mixing engineer, and I do recording and mixing for major record labels and many independent artists. And my goal is to help you streamline your recording and your mixing process for fast and consistent results. That's why I developed a 5-step cheat sheet that can take your mix to a professional sounding mix in less than 30 minutes. It's free in the description, so go ahead and grab that. Do not leave here empty-handed, and it has all the secrets. I did not hold anything back. All right. After you grab it, if you haven't already, feel free to go down into the comment section and just let me know how well it worked for you. All right. Now let's get into it. Okay, so today we got a record here by Kenzo Balla, and this is the rough mix that they sent. And really quickly, I'm going to show you how I handled a better version of the mix, come into a better version of the mix. And in the process, you're going to learn how to handle harsh sounding vocals. Like when I say harsh sounding vocals, I mean vocals that where the rapper is coming at the beat very aggressively. You'll see when I play the music here. And also the harshness that you might just get out of vocals in general, like a little bit of EQing that you might have to pay attention to. All right, so first we're gonna play the reference. This is the original studio bounce that they have, and then I'm gonna A/B it to the mix that we've done. Okay, so this is the rough mix. And I really don't gotta front like, cause I really do what I want. I bet that little nigga tryna pull a stump out back on my switcher tryna set him up. He thought we ain't see him, but he out of luck. If you fuck with the ops, you shot, don't give a fuck. And I promise I never like, I keep it tough. Hollow tips to go hit him, leave that nigga stuck. Keeping out head. All right, and this is the mix. This is the mix that we've done. And I really don't gotta front like, cause I really do what I want. I bet that little nigga tryna pull a stump out back on my switcher tryna set him up. He thought we ain't see him, but he out of luck. If you fuck with the ops, you shot, don't give a fuck. And I promise I never like, I keep it tough. Hollow tips to go hit him, leave that nigga stuck. Keeping out head taps, no ducked up goose. Won't call him my max on the loop. Tryna catch his jet and knock him out his shoe. Knock him down in the winter, knock him out his booth. 45 big nah, 38 deuce deuce. That's the knockers that I like to shoot. Who the fuck are these niggas capping in the booth? They can't say nothing about me, they know what I do. I'm downtown with Jackie moving tight. I'm on Douglas, where the fuck they at? So she tryna creep them, watch me double back. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how we got to this version of the mix. And if you're wondering, this is my plugin chain right here. So if you're wondering all the plugins I'm using, what are the settings, and all the questions that you might have as we go through this, it's all in a cheat sheet. All right, I reveal everything. But also keep in mind that every song is different, every rapper is different, every beat is different. And with just a few tweaks with the EQ and the compression, that kind of stuff, you're going to have a consistent mix every single time. But the process that I've laid out in a cheat sheet down below, it's plug and play. You can literally plug in your vocals and have a great starting point every single time. That's no exaggeration. All right, well, if you're wondering about the tweaks that you might have to make when it comes to working with different types of songs and different types of rappers, you just have to understand what EQ does, understand what compression does, and once you understand those two main tools, you're going to have a great solid foundation and be able to dial in the perfect settings every single time. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly what I did in reference to this track right here. Let's go to another part of the song. These niggas not smoking JB. They know on that time when they running to me, cause they know I'm up in this squeeze. So ready the bitch don't get put on the team. Me and Ray be bending through they pee. Trying to catch us all over, leave him on the scene. Fuck that like I'm aiming for the beam. The shots leave him woozy like he's sipping lean like Kane, Nays, Frost, Crunch. I'm Biggie BK for stuff, leave it stuck. Lottie, naughty, dotty. All right, so we're going to deactivate all of the plugins here. Boom. Let's hear what it sounds like without any of these plugins. Could barely hear it, right?
So the first thing I do, it's not going to be a full mix breakdown. I'm going to roughly go through everything here so you get a great idea of how to solve the harshness. So what I do here is I deactivate all the plugins just to hear what the raw vocal is sounding like, because I don't want to impose my ideas onto a mix that's already been done, and you know, it just doesn't work out. So I want to make sure that I'm working with a good canvas, so I deactivate all the plugins to listen to it. So I'm going to reactivate up to where we're going to solve the harshness.
Won't call him my max on a loop. Tryna catch the jet and knock him out his shoe. Knock him down in the winter, knock him out his boot. 45 big, nah, 38 deuce deuce. That's the knockers that I like to shoot. Who the fuck are these niggas capping in the booth?
Alright, so you see how this plugin make it sound very shiny and everything. Okay, this is where the harshness comes in. Now, the main part of harshness is right around 3K. See, I have a little dip around 3K. I'm going to deactivate this plugin so we don't have to listen to all that harshness just yet, and then we're going to solve it.
Move it tight. I'm on Douglas, where the fuck they at? So she tryna creep them, watch me double back. I'ma click and delete them, watch me double tap.
Alright, now watch when I deactivate this band, this frequency band, how that harshness comes back into play. And make sure you're using headphones so you can really hear the difference.
Move it tight. I'm on Douglas, where the fuck they at? So she tryna creep them, watch me double back. I'ma click and delete them, watch me double tap. Know some niggas that was dropping Mac when we started blitzing niggas not on that. Niggas singing the ops like it won't get them clapped. Gotta watch what I say, they tryna give me rap. Like wait, who that in the street?
Alright, so boom, that's that curve there that solves a little bit of the harshness. But you can also see when you play this song back at this point, when you turn it up, you're gonna get a lot of harshness coming through at a loud volume. It's always great to mix at a very low volume so your ears can internalize everything, because when you mix at a loud volume, what tends to happen is that your ears get fatigued very quickly and you might not be hearing things correctly. So mix at a lower volume is one major recommendation. So we solve a little bit of the harshness here, right? Okay, cool. Now my secret go-to plugin is my d-esser. If you're watching me for a while, you already know what this d-esser does, but if it's your first time here, it's very simple. Right around 3K is where we get a lot of that harshness. And if you're like, how do you know 3K, bro? Like, you know, you say every vocal is different, so how do you know 3K? It's very simple. All you got to do is go to an EQ, make not a tight band like this, but just make it a little bit wide like that, and then sweep. And wherever the vocal gets the most harsh, that's where your harsh frequency is for that particular vocal. I just find personally when the in the music I work with, there is usually around 3K to 3.5. So around this area is where the harshest is. All right. So that's that. Now, what I do with this plugin, I'm gonna deactivate it. I'm gonna let's play a different part of the song here. So when I play it, you'll see how the harshness gets tamed even more.
Like wait, that's a jetty in front of the gates. Watch you up there, knock it, hit him in his face. I don't care, I'ma fight all day. Tryna catch me a nigga, Jack at MBK. Hopping out 3 max in the 8. You a bitch and you better get up out the way.
Now, if you're listening correctly, you would have noticed that the vocal got a lot more dull, right? Okay, that is totally fine because we have another stage where we're going to brighten the vocal again. This is just to tame the frequencies that we don't want. So when we get to the stage of the mix where we're going to start adding frequencies, that's where we're going to bring back a little bit more of that shine in the vocal. All right, so this is part of subtractive EQing. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of the video that once you understand EQ and once you understand compression, you can use those two tools, because a lot of these plugins are just a mixture of EQ and compression, but that's not considering your effects processors, your time-based processors, like your reverbs, delays, and all that kind of stuff. Yes, they do have EQ parameters within certain delays and also reverbs. However, that's not the case here because we're not even at that stage. No, what we're talking about is just the main vocal. So this plugin, the d-esser, is just a mixture of an EQ section, very limited EQ section, and a dynamic section, a compression section where you have a threshold and you can see how much you attenuate, and then you can see your output there. All right, so I just set the frequency for 3K. That's where I found my vocals are, and the harshness of my vocals usually hits, and I set it for the bandpass, meaning that it's going to also take everything from the lower band, So 3K and down and 3K and up, and only focus on 3K. If it was a high pass, then it would just go from 3K all the way to 20. But I just wanted to be in that band. That's why we got the band pass there activated. And then wherever my vocal is hitting, I just put my threshold down, and I like my attenuation to be hitting on average around -6.
As a jetty in front of the gate, 20 up the knock and hit him in his face.
So a little bit higher or a little bit lower doesn't matter, as long as the average is around -6, and around there is good. And if you still like -6 don't really sound too, let's listen and see how well it's taming that vocal. All right, so once I do that, I then do my de-essing. I get my de-essing out the way. That's around 6K, especially for male rap vocals, is around 6K for me. So I make sure that there is set, and here is where I do a little bit more additional EQ. So additional EQ is just, you're just adding frequencies back. Now you got rid of all the frequencies that you don't want, and that's the main part of taming harsh sounding vocals. Get rid of frequencies that you don't want, and once you got that under control, then when you add frequencies in, now you're adding frequencies minus all that harshness. So if you was to do it the opposite way, where you're adding a bunch of EQ, what you're doing, you're adding more harshness on top of harshness. But doing it this way, I found that once you get rid of all the frequencies that you don't want, and then you add frequencies in which your EQ here, you're just adding frequencies to an already tamed vocal minus all the harsh sounding frequencies. So I mean, it's a little bit there to digest, but you know, just rewatch the video and practice it on your own, and you'll get the hang of it. All right, so now I'm gonna bypass all the frequencies. I already got my stuff set here for this particular vocal, so let's hear it without it, and then I'm gonna bypass, and you're gonna hear it, what it does to the vocal.
As a jetty in front of the gate, 20 up the knock and hit him in his face. I don't care, I'ma fight all day. Tryna catch me a nigga, Jack at MBK. Hopping out 3 max in the 8. You a bitch and you better get up out the way, cause you spinning, putting in that pain. Tryna set a nigga up the way. These niggas not smoke.
All right, okay, now for context, I'm gonna deactivate where we did the 3K tame right there, and then you're gonna hear what it does to the vocal without this.
As a jetty in front of the gate, 20 up the knock and hit him in his face. I don't care, I'ma fight all day. Tryna catch me a nigga, Jack at MBK. Hopping out 3 max in the 8. You a bitch and you better get up out the way.
Now you can feel that the vocal got a little bit warmer. It's a little bit clouded, but not very much, and the vocal sounds even more thick. All right, so now we have everything activated here. Now I'm going to do a AB, meaning I'm going to activate, we're going to listen to the rough mix here. This is the original mix, and then I'm going to deactivate it while it's playing, and you're going to hear the difference between our mix and the rough mix. So this is the rough mix.
What I do, I'm downtown with Jackie moving tight. I'm on Douglas where the fuck they at. She tryna creep them, watch me double back. I'ma click and delete them, watch me double tap. Know some niggas that was dropping Mac when we started blitzing, niggas not on that. Niggas singing now, I'm like it won't get them clapped. Don't watch what I say, they tryna give me rap. Like wait, who that in the street? Get the V, boy fast on his feet. Hop out, click, get back in the V. Smoking trenches, ash it and pass it to me. 5 blocks, GBG, but you blasting for free. Bucking and booming with accuracy. Everybody got hit, that's a hat in the street. When we spinning, we be causing casualties. Like wait, as a jetty in front of the gate, 20 up the knock and hit him in his face. I don't care, I'ma fight all day. Tryna catch me a nigga, Jack at MBK. Hopping out 3 max in the 8. You a bitch and you better get up out the way.
All right, now if you're listening at a low volume, you might be tricked into thinking, all right, this rough mix sounds pretty good, bro. He's, you know what I'm saying, like he's already pretty good. Like, what do you need to do to it? But when you crank it to a high level, when you play it out of certain devices like your phone, you might have earbuds that is not like the fancy ear pros and all that stuff, just regular earbuds with the wire. And even when you play it out your Bluetooth speakers and all those different devices, what you're gonna realize is that, oh, when I place at a high level, it begins to sound very harsh, and it sounds very there's a lot of high end. That's the best way to say it. There's a lot of high end and a lot of piercing sounding frequencies. When you tame all your frequencies like we did in our mix here, and then you translate it to all the other devices that we mentioned earlier, when you turn it up, what you begin to realize is that, oh, it sounds great at a low level, and it also sounds great at high levels as well. So yeah, that's it, my friend. That's how you really tame high vocals. So that's a quick recap. I get into my first EQ here. I tame it right here at 3K. And then I do a little bit more de-essing here, but I focus mainly on the 3K band, and then I have it hitting around -6 attenuation. And that is it, my friend. After that, I add frequencies back in to compensate for the loss of for the dullness that these two moves have created. And then boom, you have a great sounding vocal that translates very well. That's all, my friend. Appreciate you sticking through. And remember, if you want to see my exact process, I lay it out very simply in the 5-step cheat sheet. So go ahead and check the description below. It is absolutely free, and be sure to leave a comment because I see all the comments and I will respond. All right, I appreciate you sticking through. Again, I will see you in the next video.